Cannabis has been doing some really interesting things in the community with regards to helping and giving back. And today we're going to explain a little bit how we are getting involved in the community. We've been in the cannabis space for ages now, since long before there was an announcement that it was going to be legal for everyone to grow at home and things like that. And yeah, we've watched the industry develop, and we've basically since the get-go been trying to push a narrative that, or not push a narrative, but change the stigma of the cannabis industry. And it's not easy. I mean, there's a lot of traditional folk out there that still think cannabis is this evil thing, and it's demonic and a gateway to this and that. And it's really just not true. And I'm hoping that we've been doing a good effort at bringing a professional image to the cannabis space. And yeah, and we're quite proud to have done something quite cool. I don't know if you guys have heard about MAC yet, listening in. It's called Making a Change. It's an organization that me and Dean and the team at Marijuana SA have been funding. It is still a division of our company, but we've been primarily funding it. And Dean's going to tell you a little bit about what we're doing there.
Yeah, so Mac's a project now which we've been working on, going on, I'd say it's probably around 4 to 5 months old. And basically Ty has joined our team. He's the front of the channel which we've created. And Mac, or Making a Change, is basically an organization, not-for-profit organization. It's in which we're trying to bring light to individuals who are creating change, or to create our own kind of change through video format. In the last sort of 5 months, we've seen the craziest kinds of stories, and people who are doing good, and people who are struggling themselves, but still, ending up to feed hundreds of children a day. And it's really been an incredible experience to be part of just so far. And there's more to come. There's just so many people out there who need help, and so many people who are trying to help. And it's been an incredible experience to be a part of, and to see that we actually can potentially make a difference.
And the nice thing is, like, we're utilizing our experiences that we've learned here on YouTube, and doing these videos and podcasts over the years, and editing and doing facility tours, except now we're applying it to sort of documenting the process of where we obviously rely on you guys and our network of friends and businesses that provide. They either sponsor videos, so they get their name or brand or image put in the videos, or a certain maybe corporate agenda, which we don't mind doing because we get to then help people in return. And we just they're essentially paying for like an advertising PR service, and we get to then facilitate some of that. Not all of them give a direct agenda. Sometimes they just give cash, and then we'll put it to good use. Last week it was such an amazing day. We basically raised like $2,200. 1,000 of that was from previous companies that had sponsored, and then 1,200 was from another member of the cannabis community, Lumberjack Labs. And we used that. We took it to this lady in I think it's Athlone area in Cape Town, and basically she runs a soup kitchen. She feeds kids, and yeah, it's so heart-wrenching to see the response of what 2,200 rand can do. So we refilled the gas cylinder and gave her credit, but geez, but all of us were just
it might not seem like a lot of money. I mean, it is it's a decent amount of money, but it might not seem like a lot for a lot of people. But what she was able to do with those donations made it all feel like the last sort of 5 months of hard work from the whole team was worth it, because it really did actually make a difference for a lot of people in her community. She wouldn't have been able to open her soup kitchen without the gas, and she literally was telling people it wasn't going to happen, and wasn't expecting us to be obviously bringing in the donation. We were in the morning, we weren't even expecting it ourselves. The Lumberjack Labs came through on the same day that we put out the piece of correspondence saying that they did require it. And it was it was to see her reaction, to see the kids' reactions. It was super incredible stuff. Yeah.
And the lady was talking about she was talking about these kids, and how they ask for, literally they'll go on the streets when they should be in school, and they beg for like a R1, which is like the equivalent of like 5 cents US, and like with that R1 they could get one slice of bread plain, and then with a R2, which is 10 US cents, or 10 British pence, and with that then they can get a piece of bread, and then they'll dust it with sugar, just like white sugar, and they put that on, and then you get your bread and sugar. And I was just thinking, I mean, it's you don't see that all the time, and we, as I suspect if you guys are watching this, you're part of the group of people that lives in a bit of a bubble, myself included. Not saying anyone isn't, but it's I'll be honest. I bought a mango the other day for like 35 Rand, and I've bought an avo in the past, maybe 2 avos for $50, and it's just like, shit. That's maybe like 50 kids getting a slice of bread, and they don't always have money for that one slice of bread. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I think that's also why it's so important to bring light to these kinds of organizations which are trying to help, because, a lot of the time they're also struggling for funding. They may not, unfortunately, they may not be sort of, I don't know, what's the correct word, like marketing themselves well enough to be getting, the kinds of donations that they need. And, a little bit of bringing to light the good tasks that people are doing could, in turn help hundreds of kids, or get people off the street, or even animals, so it's also really important to start to have these kinds of discussions, and start to look out, to start to find these kinds of people, because there are actually a lot of people who are trying, and they also, they're giving help, but they also need help at the same time in order to keep doing what they're doing.
And sadly, I think it's up to people like us, and the those organizations that we support. It's the government's not just going to magically fix the country overnight, and it's like with these places and the night shelters, they do help. They make it that that if they can put someone in a night shelter, they're not going to get a job if they're sleeping on the street, or not easily. They're dirty. They're unemployable. They have no access to phone. It's impossible in today's society to function without like a certain baseline of things. You need phone, you need a bit of airtime, and you need this and that. And like with no money, you're not getting any of that. The internet as well, access to browse the internet. We all just take it for granted. But yeah, so that's it's going to take us sorting that out. That's the only way we can. Down the line, I do want to push. We want to push things more educational. Benchmark. I'd love to pay for some people to get through school, some kids to get through school, parents to help their kids stay in school programs, computer development within the schools. I'd love to push those agendas. We obviously just small at the moment, and we basically we donate. We're trying to donate as much as possible, but we also are covering the full cost of the division, which is basically a full-time salary for Ty, me and Dean. We obviously volunteer our hours on just like MSA's cost, and then the thumbnails from Jenna and Cole, who helps with the editing and the audio and the uploading, and like everyone's sort of volunteering their time internally. But yeah, we do have some really cool Patreons. The support on Patreon really does help a lot. It's basically the future of the business would be that and YouTube revenue when we get there. I mean, we're on like 150 subscribers on YouTube, and TikTok's also seeming to pop off a bit. It's exciting. It's exciting times.
Yeah, it's exciting to see all the hard work paying off, but it's also exciting to get into the comments and to see the kinds of comments that people are saying. And like one of the ones on the night shelter we did, an ex-attendee of the night shelter was commenting to say, it's super, super cool to see, and that they used to be in the shelter. And then on sort of the TikTok video that did really well the day before yesterday, it was super cool to see how much support there was, and the positive comments. So it's it feels like there is a lot of positivity coming from it, but it obviously does need help from more than just us as a team and internally, and that's why we're putting out the call, and that's why we're making this content. We do have ways in which you can get involved, and if you would like to get involved, we'd appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, it's not just, even if it's not just money, but time. We're always looking for people with, it's a lot of work that goes into videographing all of these things. Sometimes Ty just needs a person to help carry the camera for the day, or shoot a certain event, or social media, things like that. It's all going to be volunteer based. But for the moment, I'm proud that Marijuana SA has gone so far with this. I mean, we've run it for about 5-6 months now. It is at a cost to us, but regardless, it's worth it at the end of it. And if we can make it sustainable at some point, where it's covered fully by ad revenue, even better. And it's just one of those things that's coming out of cannabis industry, that's it's modern, it's good for the economy, it's another good thing in the favor of cannabis. And yeah, it's just proud of the industry. It's not it's scarce you see other industries doing as much with focus on the small guys and the community. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the ramble today. We do appreciate you guys listening all the way to the end. Make sure you just check out the socials, check out Mac, check out MSA for updates on Insta. There's Patreon link for Mac is also listed below. You can get a lot of info there. And if you guys want to help out, just reach out to us and we can hopefully do something awesome. Especially if you've got a business and that the business wants some advertising, or it's got a cool video, or you've got some sort of company, we can always pair you up with an organization. You guys can make something really cool happen. But yeah, till next week. Peace, guys.